Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today it's an edition of Monday Morning News, but a little different. The only reason it's Monday Morning News, I guess, is because it's Monday and there's a couple pieces of news to talk about. But for the most part, we'll be reading off our nominees for our second annual 2022 Ruff Talk VR MetaQuest Game Show Award.
Yep. And before we get started, I just want to say Happy New Year's to everybody.
Yeah, I hope
Recovering from a Happy New Year.
Yeah, I hope everybody, had fun, but
It's cool because it's one of those occasions where typically the whole world celebrates it. So you get to watch it roll in all the New Year celebrations around the world. It's weird because it legit is like the one time the whole world just has a really good time and there seems to be less drama. So
yeah, New Year's is always a fun time, especially if you can balance it where you have fun, but you also don't wake up with a headache and nauseous to start the year. There's a balance.
Good luck.
So hopefully you're listening to
Drink
this.
water.
I was gonna say hopefully you're listening to this without a headache or anything like that. But yeah, no, Happy New Year, and it's over now. Hopefully some people saw it and were able to take advantage of it. Over the New Year, I guess I could say, MetaQuest had a pretty good holiday sale too, so that's always good.
Yeah, some of the like Steam sales I used to always like rub my hands about and be like, oh shit. So, so it's nice to see Oculus drop into big holiday. A lot of bundle packs too.
I believe it technically ends the sale tonight.
Yeah. You're shit out of luck.
If you're listening to this, not everybody listens to a podcast,
which
right
is
when
weird
it comes
because they knew so many people were going to get headsets for Christmas. It's
they should have kept it
such
till
a
January
short window.
7th.
Yeah, because let's be honest, you could have 2 games when you get your first headset, and you'll be content for a month if you want it to be. So I mean, then you go on to start. So it would have been cool if they dragged it for the month of January.
Yeah, but if anybody is listening to this right now, and it's
Jump on the store.
It's not the end of the second yet, then yeah, go take advantage of those sales. But yeah, last year we did, as our first year podcasting, we did our first award show. It was a lot of fun for me as a gamer. It kind of like gave me an opportunity to think back of all the games that I enjoyed, and some of which I haven't put in the amount of time back into that I should have, and it kind of re-inspires me to go back into them.
Of course.
Yeah, so I guess probably shouldn't start with Game of the Year. That's kind of the big boy. And just to clarify, today we're not saying our winners. We're just saying the nominees. A couple months ago we listed the categories, but, got to build some suspense. So I guess I'll start with Best Updated Game of the Year is a good spot to start. These are for games that, they don't have to have come out this year. It could have come out even, 3 years ago, but they've continued to update, put out good content and keep players coming back. So the nominees for Best Updated Game of the Year would be Population 1, After the Fall, Demeo, Golf Plus, Knock, and Vermilion. I remember when we were talking about this, you got real excited when Knock came up because you're like, oh, that's one that is so good, but, easily gets missed.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that they keep investing into their product as well. So
yeah,
it's only gotten better and better.
Agreed. All those games that we just listed, like I said, they might not have come out this year, but they've continued to put out a good amount of high quality content. So hats off to all of those games, even if, there can only be one winner, but they're all very deserving of at least some recognition. Going on to the next one, Game Storyline of the Year. We have, drum roll please, we got Green Hell VR, Red Matter 2, The Last Clockwinder, Twilight Zone VR, and Iron Man VR.
It's Clockwinder.
Clockwinder. I said the Clockwinder?
Yes.
No. Uh-oh. It happens. But yeah, another category with all really good suggestions, or nominees. Green Hell VR was one that I loved, but I mean, the storyline in Red Matter 2 and Twilight Zone with the 3 chapters, this is some tough competition in that category.
Yeah, it's a pretty stacked division, we'll say.
And before I go completely crazy, just, hogging all the mic time, if you're able to read my handwriting.
I know, I saw your scratch.
Yeah, I have, for people who aren't watching video, I have it all handwritten.
No, it's cool. You could
scribble.
It's crazier because I can actually read your writing. So
because I was quick writing. It's not like actual formal. I'm writing in a handwritten.
But it's
essay.
a form of artwork for sure.
Yeah, definitely. There's some scribbles there. So if you're able to read it, if you want to go to the next category, I think we're going Multiplayer game of the year.
Multiplayer game of the year.
And then
Dude, all these categories are just so jacked.
last year, I think we only did like what 5 or 6 categories or something like that, maybe 7.
Yeah.
This year we jacked it up, and I'm scared next year is going to be even more.
Well, yeah, because let's be honest, in the discussions, there were many more categories we thought about, but
Especially because this is another year where, we only have one App Lab dedicated category. And that was something that last year we were like, oh, we should add more, but it wasn't completely ready yet. But even just in the discussion, it was like, yeah, that's one that's going to expand so much just there, let alone the official store ones.
oh wow, I think I do have a question of something you wrote. All right, so multiplayer game of the year, artistically drawn. We've got Mother Gunship Forge, Among Us VR, Juan's Alliance, such a good game.
Oh my goodness.
World of Mechs, and Knock. Right?
World of Mechs and Juan's Alliance are 2 great examples of phenomenal games that came out this year that, I'm glad I just got a reminder of them, because those are gems.
Yeah. No, when this was getting put together, it was cool to almost feel nostalgic with some of them to a degree, because it brought back that same excitement, oh shit.
Juan's Alliance is one of the few games that I actually feel competitive in.
Yeah, you went over the top with that one.
Yeah, and
like for real.
Mother Gunship Forge. I mean, Crispy in our Discord is kind of putting you to shame. He posted a video of level 299 on endless mode, which was crazy. But
yeah, I quit at 190 something.
Yeah, 299 looked nuts. But we talk about Mother Gunship Forge just about weekly. So I mean, that's
a great game.
That's a tough category for me overall. VR multiplayer game of the year. That's real tough. So why don't I do the next one? Then we'll go back and forth that whole time. Yeah, and that way the listeners don't have to listen to my voice the whole time either. It's kind of rough, So VR port of the year is the next category. This is
one of my favorite categories.
Yeah, it's not one of the biggest in terms of like list of games, because there's only so many ports here.
And that's what excites me about the category is like we're gonna watch it grow over the course of the next 2-3 years, like substantially, where it's gonna be a struggle to find how so many VR ported over games.
Well, to like narrow it down, it might even be one that we have to split up a category of being like, VR strategy port of the year, whatever. But, VR port of the year, to clarify, it's not talking about exactly like coming from other VR headsets. We're talking about an existing flat screen game that was ported over into VR. So those listed nominees for this one, we have Among Us VR, which has already popped up in 2 categories. As you can tell, that was a hyped release. So
yeah, it's actually done well for itself.
Among Us VR, Green Hell VR, Thief Sim VR, and Car Mechanic Sim. So
all good ones.
All good ones. I mean, Thief Simulator, we had, that was one of the most comical games that we played this year. But Green Hell VR, which is another one that's been nominated a couple times already, and Among Us, those are another, so good. This is a tough category.
Yeah, it's funny because, I mean, Among Us definitely isn't my, favoriteest game in the whole wide world, but I can't dispute, it's fun.
With the right group?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what it seems to always come down to with that one.
So, you want to go to the next category?
Yes, sir. Which is?
With my scribble handwriting. I feel so bad for you with this. The listeners have no idea.
Which one shall I do, sir?
We'll go.
So we got, this is another favorite category. Just because we're fiends for.
And I guess it's actually, I made an error saying that we only had one App Lab category, because this is kind of an App Lab category too.
Yeah, this was the foundation for.
Yeah.
So this is an exciting category. All right. App Lab Graduate of the Year.
Ooh, games that were on App Lab and came to the official MetaQuest store.
And I'd like to say that most of them we publicly said should 100% be in the store. So we're always excited when that can happen.
I want to say that we reviewed all but one of them, or maybe 2 on the list. And most of them that we did review were all before they were on the official store.
All right.
Except that first one, but nonetheless.
So it'll be the last one that trips me up for sure. But we've got App Lab Graduate of the Year. We've got Deism. Good game.
Oh my
Loved
goodness.
watching that one grow.
Yeah, that was one that we didn't review till it came out on the official store, but we had played it a bunch. That was one
we
of our
had it
first.
when it was like there weren't as many tribes there. You know, it was like, I mean, that's what's cool with early access too. You forget like early access that actually follows through, because everyone's been disappointed with some of the Steam early access purchases, and then it becomes abandoned and you're like, ah, shit. But now I think people are wise to like developer reputation. Like, no, that guy never finishes a game, you know.
Well, and it's cool for developers that do follow through, for them to be able to get some funding, you know, early on before the game's completely ready.
Yeah, I mean, every one of these are great games. So
we had talked about it last week too. Sorry to interrupt. But I was going to say Oceancraft is another one of those early access ones. We talked about it last week.
He makes his moves.
Oh, it's so good.
But
so good.
It's on the cusp of being, we'll see.
So Deism was the first one.
Deism, first one. Arcaxer.
Ooh, that was our winner last year App Lab Game of the Year.
Yep.
And it rightfully made it to the official store.
Yeah, great development team.
We've interviewed them twice. Great people.
Yeah, they just keep, they've got so much they want to do.
And they're such a small team. It's just them.
Yeah,
just them two.
Yeah.
That's
well
incredible.
Deserved for them to make the Iron Guard VR one of my personal favorites.
We are so biased towards that one, full disclaimer, because both of us love tower defense games.
Yeah.
And
it's the only one that I know of.
The only proper, like, traditional one.
Yeah, with the element, though, where you shoot, you aid in the combat. So,
it just works so good in VR. So,
and then we got Gorilla Tag,
the controller breaker,
the controller manufacturer's best friend.
Look, we didn't review that one, but you know, we're familiar with it. And how do you not nominate it when it has the most ratings on the entire store? You know,
dude, it was pretty much the example, I think, that was given to us of the handful of App Lab games that do okay on App Lab and don't need to go to the official store.
Yep.
And they're doing just fine. That to me was the number one example of that.
Look at the daily the amount of players on that. Insane.
Yeah, like it goes to the store, it probably doesn't matter. It's like everybody already had it anyways. All right. And then the last one, I'll let you read.
Gym Class VR.
Oh, yes.
There is actually one more on there right there, too.
Yep. Another personal kind of like old school favorite of ours that was... I was stoked when you had sent me the message and you're like, hey, check this out. They're going to the official Crisis Brigade.
Yeah, the second one, Crisis Brigade 2.
Yep.
Crisis Brigade 1 and 2 were some of our first App Lab experiences.
So much fun.
Comical
Not
fun.
the best graphics, you know?
2's got better graphics than the first, but they're still not like, you know.
The first one?
No.
But it didn't matter. It was the whole, remember hiding behind all the shit? You know, kind of like, I don't know. It was fun.
I honestly think Crisis Brigade 1 and 2 was one of the games that sold me on VR when I was still newer to the medium, because like I remember, you know, just getting our headset. We've had it for a couple months. App Lab comes out. We get Crisis Brigade. I remember being in tears at one moment of you being like, dude, I'm laying on my stomach right now.
Yeah, I was.
And I remember just
only game I've ever done at it.
But it was such a immersive experience to have early on in VR. You know, they're very sentimental to me.
Having people throwing bullets at you and shit. Yeah.
You get hit, you see the bullet in slow motion. That game was just so much fun.
I remember how excited you were when App Lab first came out, and you're like, check this. And I'm like, do I have to plug anything in? Because that was my bitch.
They were side loading before with side quests.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to have to plug into a computer every time I want to play a game. And
I'm
you're like,
no, that's getting rid of it.
It's got its own apps. And I'm like, this sounds hokey. And then I went there and looked at all the games, and I'm like, this is crazy. What is this? You know, I don't understand what this really is. Why isn't it? How is it allowing me to? Because very little has changed as far as like, when you click on it, it says, hey, just so you know, this isn't an official game, blah, blah, blah.
I think the only thing that's gotten better, the warning message is still there, but I don't think you have to type in the game character for character
It'll
anymore.
allow for mistakes.
Yeah, and a little deviance. Do you remember those days when you had to
still have to scroll down to the bottom.
View more.
View more apps. And then
what the fuck?
All of a sudden your App Lab game will show up.
No,
they've done a better job.
Yeah.
Meta has it.
Slowly.
Yeah.
We're getting there. App Lab is just I love App Lab. I have such a soft
Thank
spot
God
for
it exists. And for those who don't know about it, it's like, I guess you don't have to, because in a matter of time, a lot of these games are coming over anyways. But these are the devs, you know, trying to get their foot in the door and making, some of them are devs from other freaking video game platforms that are sitting there doing their games in App Lab.
Like,
you get no special favor to get into the store.
No, not at all. So yeah, that's definitely a near and dear to my heart category. And
That's
then,
a great one.
yeah, and I think next year it's going to be even more competitive. That's great. And it'll be cool to
Well,
see.
with the 7% more power now,
Hmm.
and we know frame rates is an important one to get into the store.
That might help them a lot.
Yeah, might help out a handful of games.
And realistically, if all goes well, pretty much every game that we see on the App Lab Game of the Year later in this list,
It's
we
gonna be
should
in
see
the
on the
store
graduate.
next year.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
that's the goal. Props to you for reading my handwriting too. Like I can't say
Told
it
you,
enough.
man. It's a family thing.
Yeah, scribbles,
My doctor couldn't read my handwriting.
But on to onto the next one, Publisher of the Year. So this isn't for Developer of the Year. There's
Nope.
two-part relationship. You have the developer and you have the publisher. This is Publisher of the Year.
Can't have one without the other.
Nope. And the 5 nominees, or 6 nominees, actually. I cannot count. Yeah, it's 6. Wow. So the 6 nominees for Publisher of the Year we have.
Can't write or count.
Where'd you go to school?
I was just thinking that.
So
I'm like, damn, get your money's worth.
Resolution Games, Shell
Beast.
Games,
These are all beasts.
End Dreams, Fast Travel Games, Oculus Studios, and lastly, Fun Train.
Mm-hmm.
Some good stuff.
Yeah.
Good ones.
All have worked on some fabulous product.
Mhm. Resolution put out even free game this year with Ultimex.
Yeah.
Shell Games. How much did we enjoy Lost Recipes?
Shell Games is the best.
Mm-hmm.
And they're good because they're not one dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, to me, a force to be reckoned with. Because, I mean, look, everything they've done, we've pretty much played. And it's all different from each other.
Almost pretty much every publisher on this list is almost guaranteed for next year too. These are like the big names in VR.
These are the top, these are the top dogs.
Oculus Studios, we saw. I mean,
they got a huge budget.
Mm-hmm. They got Iron Man VR this year. Shell Games. They weren't the publisher for this one, so it's not really fair to say it. But they did do Lost Recipes. I was going to say Among Us, but they played a developer role in that one.
Yeah.
End Dreams is guaranteed for next year too. I mean, they did Little Cities this year, which was a great one, but then they have Ghostbusters coming next year. Unless they flop that, they're pretty much guaranteed for Publisher of the Year. Fast Travels, I mean, between Broken Edge, City Skyline, they have Guardians VR next year. They scooped up as the publisher. So I mean, stiff category to say the least. All very deserving. And Fun Train VR with Twilight Zone, that might be one of my favorite interviews we've done on this show.
I would say that's one of my top 3, I think.
Yeah, Douglas was a really good time.
It gets harder to say that, to be honest with you, but he stands out.
Well, here's the reality. Has there been a bad interview? I don't really think so.
No.
So it's like it's hard to pick a number 1 or number 3 when they're all good.
He's a cool ass dude.
But his definitely does stick out. If there was a Hall of Fame of interviews, he would be in it.
Yep. I agree with that.
As with Chris from Ultra Wings,
Yeah.
Chris Pruitt from Meta, the Ryan Angle, the Lucas Martell, all the Walkabout crew, those are all Hall of Fame ones.
Thank God we talked to Lucas Martell when we did.
I don't know if we can get him anymore. He's so big.
I think that opportunity for round 2 is come and gone.
Yeah, he's too big for a small fish, we're small, man.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
but he was great.
Yeah, super cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. Everybody at Mighty Coconut and Walkabout.
Great company to work for. Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's smiling.
This next category that you're going to read, this one's one of my absolute favorites.
One
I'm
of your
excited for
favorites?
this. Yeah,
Okay.
it's probably one of yours too.
Dude, every one of them is my favorite. So which one I got here?
Right after Publisher.
All right. Oh yeah, of course. Strategy Game of the Year. Interestingly enough, didn't we decide that there wasn't enough strategy games in the whole scope of things?
I think we might have half the frickin' store as half the strategy games on the official store in our list. When we're even looking through you go on the store, you can filter by genre, you can filter price low to high, whatever. If you do filter by strategy, it's probably 16 apps, 12 apps, the most.
I hate when there's certain genres and I click on it and I'm like, owned.
2 great App Lab games that are going to the official store next year, Guardians of VR and Gods of Gravity, are both strategy games, technically.
Okay.
So
it's not a saturated.
they're going to
department
dominate
at all.
that little
Yeah.
genre, no doubt.
All right. So strategy game of the year.
Ooh.
Right. Deism. It's a damn good game.
Mm-hmm. Appearing twice on this list between
Yes.
App
There's
Lab
a few.
Graduate
There's
and
a few.
recurring.
There's a few reoccurrings on this one. Iron Guard VR,
Again, twice.
which really is a really fun strategy game. If you
Wait.
haven't played it, it's fun.
Which, wait, real quick. First two nominees were games that weren't on the official store before in an incredibly weak genre. Like, they needed those two games on the store ASAP.
1,000,000%. Same with the next little batch.
Mhm.
Yep. Cities VR.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah. Fun as hell. Little Cities.
Another so good.
And then Space Folk City.
Space Folk City is an underrated one because it kind of has an end to it in the story, in the campaign.
Yeah.
But it was such a good time.
Yeah.
There was like,
no, I know exactly where you're going with that. But definitely good games.
oh my goodness, I think Space Folk City, that if they restructured it a little bit to go endlessly or added some more DLC, I think that would be like a top selling game. It was so good. And City Skyline VR, Little Cities.
Yeah.
Oh, Iron Guard and Deism, we already talked about how good they are with the App Lab Graduate. Oh, that's a tough category.
I should have said Cities Skyline.
I think it's technically called Cities VR.
Cities
but
VR,
it's Cities Skyline. That's that's what it's a port of.
True.
I mean, I guess that probably could have gone into VR port of the year, but it's a little bit of its own thing. Like, if I remember that being kind of an issue that people had.
Yeah, it's not as intricate as the.
That's the only reason we didn't put it in there, is because it's kind of like a more stripped down version.
Correct.
But nonetheless. So.
Still a beast category.
Oh my goodness. I think that's a. I mean, hey, look, there's a we both love strategy games. I think that there's a reason that we have strategy game of the year, not first person shooter of the year, rhythm game of the year. That's one of our favorite genres. But hopefully next year we see even more strategy games come, because, like I said, it's still a little weak.
It's a needed market.
Yeah, and
just like tower defense.
Man,
surprised Plants versus Zombies hasn't jumped over.
King Canuck in our Discord,
I read that.
he's been sharing there's a game in early access that's mixed reality, and it's pretty much a Plants vs. Zombies game. I need to check it.
Pretty much is.
I know.
You know
I get
what
it. If you were the developers of Plants vs. Zombies, you'd be like, well, VR is a no-brainer medium, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I agree. But somebody's going to do the knockoff now because they're not taking advantage of it. I'll be honest, dude, I don't need to swing my arms in all VR games. I don't mind doing top-down strategy.
Dude, I don't mind
VR.
sitting down now and then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the board games and stuff. Catan and
how much have we
Demio. I love the fact that
Gods of Gravity even. Although I move around a lot in Gods of Gravity. I have problems with that game.
Yeah, I can do it sitting as long as I don't have anything around my full right, left, and in front of me where it's going on the floor.
But no, that placing style works.
Just grip, grab, stretch to.
All of those games in that genre, in that category too, for strategy game of the year, they're all top down, just grab, pull, zoom in, zoom out. It's all like that, and they all work so good.
They do, especially when all of them let you get real fucking close. So, excuse my language.
Yeah, they do that. So fun. So next category we have, and we almost didn't keep this category because for a bit we're like, leading into this, we're like, is there enough games? And you know what? There actually has been a lot of games in this category, a lot more than you would initially think on first impression. So we have Sports Game of the Year. We have NFL Pro Era, Gym Class VR, appearing again on the list.
Yeah.
First Person Tennis, made by Mickery Games.
Mickery Games.
That was a fun one.
Mickery Games.
And then 4 VR Pool. So, 4 games in that category. Some tough competition, especially between, Gym Class VR, tennis, the football, NFL Pro Era.
Yeah.
And 4 VR Pool. Like, this is tough.
I'll tell you, the experience in the NFL one was still, it's like, I get the, it's
going to be hard
2MD plays a little.
I'm not saying that they're winning that category, but that's going to be
a little different. But I loved standing on the sidelines and feeling like I was really in the game.
Mm-hmm. Again, remember, besides them blowing your eardrums out with the volume, you remember that opening scene in the game where
Yeah,
they
when
have you
you're
run
running
through the tunnel?
Yep.
Sold.
Yep.
Sold right
Into
from
a
that moment.
roaring stadium. Come on.
If they ever expand like that, Status Pro, the developers, if they ever make sequels where it's more positions with defense and, multiplayer besides just the little playing catch with your friends.
No, we haven't seen good hockey yet either.
Surprisingly.
Right?
Surprisingly. To me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, you figure like Knock could pull it off. Because they pretty much almost have that same motion of glide. Just you wouldn't be flying through the air.
Running up walls, you'd be running into the wall.
Yeah, they've only got really like 1 or 2 basketballs. No soccer, obviously, until the second that like ankle monitoring becomes a thing. I think we're going to see an influx of some soccer games.
Yeah, I'm still surprised that Meta doesn't sell like native trackers for the headset.
They probably just get so tired of the lawsuits from TVs. Because certainly they get blamed for it.
You give me a kickboxing game.
Yeah.
I'm throwing spinning back kicks. I'm throwing axe kicks.
I mean, there's no shortage of videos of people breaking other people or
imagine
their house.
Seeing people throw flying knees and stuff.
Right?
Too funny.
Oh, it's terrible.
All right, so good luck with reading this next one. It'll be
DLC of the year.
Ooh, this is, not updates of the year. This is like whether it's free or paid, expansions into a game.
All right. We got Walkabout Mini Golf.
Ooh, no brainer.
Yeah, if they were not on this list, shame on us because they are probably one of the most aggressive and consistent studios to drop content. And granted, most of it, 99% of it is paid content. It's cheap. It's,
$3.
$3.
A cup of coffee.
You get 36 holes.
Yep.
And balls and clubs.
And 18 of those holes are going to be hard. In that hard mode, that night mode, oof.
And occasionally a lot of hidden stuff going on there on top of the hidden stuff that you already found. But the little, Easter eggs, they are notorious for putting places. And so, I mean, Jesus.
I even saw, we saw some walkabout game scores posted in our Discord of people meeting up and playing some walkabout rounds. And some of the hard mode scores were kind of similar to what mine looked like. And that made me feel better. That made me feel good because
gave you hope.
Oh my goodness. You can easily go plus 20 in hard mode. Easy.
Do hard mode with multiplayer people. I'll do it with you.
Yeah, we do it for fun.
But nobody needs to see that debauchery of a score of mine. All right, so DLC of the year, Walkabout Mini Golf.
You got a little sidetracked. Oopsie.
Can't help it, man. Yeah. These are all great.
Well, that's why it's fun
to do this. I could talk an
this.
hour on each one of these easily.
And we do.
Demio. We've got Demio.
With several books released this year. Adventures.
Dude, they're just crushing it.
They're coming out with PvP mode.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
One of your all-time favorites, the Heroes Hangout with the painting the pieces and stuff. I mean, come on.
That in itself. Come on, man. We've got Golf Plus.
Ooh, another game that's put out real courses.
Yeah, they're licensing with
PGA now.
PGAs
they have investors.
Oh yeah, it's taken on its own.
Real life famous courses.
So anybody who's like, I only want to golf. It's like buy him the friggin' headset and get him Golf Plus, and they're legitimately going to be able to play world championship courses that, let's be honest, probably not going to play in your lifetime.
No, but you know what they look like. You see them on TV. You're curious about a hole and be able to. And
you can actually play it.
And they have the 3 different difficulties in Golf Plus. That's each like their own game. But like if you're playing on pro mode on their hardest mode, that's real. Like that's so realistic because there's no assisting. There's no like aimer. There's no pointer. It's like where you hit it is where it goes.
Yeah, I actually think it's I used to use flat screen golfing to improve my putting. And believe it or not, it worked.
So you can only imagine what VR does.
Yeah.
Especially, dude, there's so many good golf attachment. Have you seen the controller attachments? There's so many good ones now at this point. And it's like, you're practicing your swing.
Yeah.
How are you not?
You're getting a reaction from the ball. So I'm sure if you go out there in the the backyard and hit it, it'll probably react relatively the same.
And again,
Golf Plus is the shit.
And again, one thing to have fake courses, which are great when they have their made up courses, they're amazing. I'm not crapping on them, but the real life famous courses is next level.
Well, again, there's courses in my lifetime I'll never play, and this could be an opportunity to get to play them. And you don't want to play on these championship courses and look like a freaking golf hack. So I can do that in the comfort of my living room.
And then when you watch them on TV and you see somebody mess up on that hole, you'll be like, I know, hole
I
nine's
did the
a
same thing, dude.
pain in the ass.
That damn freaking pond, it ate 2 of my balls. And then how good would you feel if you saw a pro kind of like take the hole similar to you did? All right. So Beat Saber.
Ooh, you got to include them. Yeah, I mean, they even expanded to rock music this year.
Dude, they're consistent. Their prices are always consistent. And now they've branched out of the music a little and offered a little more variety to the rock enthusiast. They had me sold. That one was one where I'm like, I gotta own that one.
If you could see how much money Beat Saber's made, I imagine it's sick. Between base game and all the DLCs, they've probably made so much money.
Well, where they're smart, right, is they go, okay, we'll give you, there's a couple of existing rock bands that are already in there. And but they'll, you want Lady Gaga because you're not into those other bands, and here you go. And this is on top of the huge amount of music you get for free. But it's like, I think they've reached the point where they're finally like, hey, there's other audiences we need to wait until they come out with the heavy metal one. You know what I'm saying? Take that Ragnarok approach.
I troll some of their developers on Twitter sometimes. I've trolled their developers and a couple of Meta employees. I've posted a bit about Beat Saber of like, what should we add next? Or like, what's everybody think about this DLC? And I'll comment. I'll be like, call me when there's, Bob Dylan bootleg number 4, Rolling Thunder. I was just trolling,
It's funny.
Obscure ass albums.
Hats off to Beat Saber. They really are consistent. And they've never been shy with putting, and I mean, I get it. If you're Lady Gaga, you're not going to, well, yeah, you can have all these songs for nothing so people can play and you can make money. Get the hell out of here.
But no, it consistently maintains one of the most popular and top selling apps. So yeah.
Rightfully so. I love Beat Saber. And Real VR Fishing.
Ooh, they've added several new fishing locations throughout the year.
It surprised me that they're pushing forward still. It's like, I thought they were going to originally do like maybe 1 or 2 more.
And then maybe a sequel or a new game. No, they're trying to get the world in that game.
You know what it is their graphics are still, to this day, damn
oh my
good.
Goodness, incredible.
What do they need another one for?
And that is still one of the most relaxing games. They have a very dedicated online community of fans too.
I love the idea of knowing that like there's some old guy in one part of the country and his older son in the other part of the country, and they're meeting up in Real VR Fishing, and they're just chilling, and the scene, the sounds go by, and
well, I'll say right now,
freaking cool, man.
I'm in a couple real VR Fishing Facebook groups because why not, right? Go post their review episode there when it came out.
There too?
No. Dude, man, all my trolling is lighthearted friendliness, but no trolling in there. You don't think that the age of people posting in there is 26, 24. I mean,
older dudes.
There's a lot of older VR users.
Yep.
Dudes and girls. There's a lot of older girls who post in there.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a very, like I said, dedicated and passionate online community.
And it has that same, when you play it with friends, it's that same bond you get like playing Walkabout Mini Golf.
They have the selfie cam too.
Yeah, the selfie cam.
Great avatars.
Yeah, we used to really enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, Real VR Fishing. So we have a couple more categories, but before I forget, let's take a moment. Let's take a message from our sponsors, help keep the lights on.
Thank you.
And then we'll be back. We'll be back with you in just a moment. But like I always say before our ad break, every week, if you haven't yet, obviously go subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Helps us a bunch. But, more importantly for your own enjoyment, go join our Discord server. You join our Reddit as well, but especially that Discord server. It's been popping. We added a couple new, like, if you don't know Discord
I love when I go in there and I'm like, oh my God, a couple of new changes.
Yeah, we added some new channels. So like, we have now Off Topic, which we always had, but now we have one dedicated for food picks,
Yeah, more moderators.
Yeah, we added two moderators as well, Amelia and King Canuck, who both definitely deserve it. They contribute a lot, and
Absolutely.
there's a lot of activity. It's a good time. So if you haven't joined that Discord yet, go check that out. And also, just to self-promote myself a little bit, I wrote a little op-ed opinion piece on our website.
I read.
This is 2 weeks in a row now because we had Shoes write a little piece for us about why he decided to buy.
Spend the $300 on controllers.
Yep. And, I'm
It
excited.
was an honest right, too.
Yeah, and he's going to do a little follow-up article on his initial thoughts on it as well, and I can't wait to read that.
Yep.
So just keep that momentum. I did a piece about some, I guess, things I commonly hear wrong about the world of VR that irk me. Like, people claiming that Horizon Worlds is the metaverse or that Meta's going bankrupt.
Yeah, it's one of my personal favorites.
Dude, I looked up because, hey, all right, if I'm going to dispute that Meta's going bankrupt, let's talk about this. Dude, they made $117 billion in revenue last year and $39 billion in profit.
Once the layoff started, and we know it was just a reset back to
and their stock price went down,
pre-COVID
but that's
numbers.
not bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's like people are out of their mind. They have no idea the amount of money that company has. It's like, really, you don't.
And Meta's never said that Horizon Worlds is their metaverse. They've always said a metaverse is a theoretical thing that's far away.
That's years away. We haven't even.
They say Horizon Worlds is
We've
one
touched
step.
The foundation of it.
It's one step of like the early stages of what metaverse world building would be in their eyes, but that's much different than it being the metaverse.
Do you know what metaverse really is to me? Can I just say something real quick?
What?
I hate when people say, like, and I'm hearing it more and more, and it's bothering me a lot. But this is so meta. Oh, dude, check out this video that's so meta. And I'm like, this word is taking on some sort of weird transformation.
Just to be clear, just to dispute that a little bit. There's lingo that I heard since I was like 8 years old.
Was meta one of them?
Yeah, the people used to say so. Like, if you refer to what like the meta in a game might be, like that's the current meta. That would be like in a competitive game.
Okay.
The current meta would be like what the strategy or the loadout or the play style that everybody's doing for success. Like in Pop 1, you could say sniping's the current meta.
Okay.
It's like the current like leading strategy.
Well, I guess it's not hate. It was starting to bug me.
This was one of my beefs when Meta changed their name to Meta because I was like, now I can't use that term no more.
All right, so I had to
stick up for myself because I'm one of those people who use that term.
Use the term meta.
Yeah, I do.
Dude, it's so meta, man.
But I can't use it anymore for that reason. It's like, well, now I'm sounding like I'm referring to the company. But there is like too funny. But yeah, go join our Discord if you want. Go to rufftalkvr.com. Go check out those articles. You can also find the podcast and shit and Discord stuff there too. So that's always fun. And even go check out our Patreon, All right, we'll be back with you in just a moment. This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RuffTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. We are excited to announce our newest Ruff Talk VR podcast sponsor, VRlist.xyz, a marketplace for VR talent that just launched April this year and already has over 100 members as of October. At VRlist.xyz, they believe the metaverse will usher in new opportunities for all those who partake in it. With that, they asked a simple question: how can you find VR creators?
Unhappy with the results they found, it was time to take things into their own hands. They've embarked on a journey to simplify how those looking for VR services can connect with those who supply them. VRlist.xyz is an open marketplace for VR creators, instructors, entertainers, and proprietors to proudly showcase their talents and spaces to potential clients. And with already over 100 vendors listed, including Stratus and yours truly, VRlist.xyz is quickly becoming the premier VR talent marketplace. Again, that's VRlist.xyz to find the right VR talent for your needs.
And we're back. So there's more
Yeah,
things
so
that
it
grind
wasn't
your
my
gears.
thing wasn't just it really grinds my gears. I won't even try to do a Peter Griffin. I can do an angry Italian Peter Griffin. We know that. No, I picture like the future of the metaverse to really be more like the ability to have your blank walls be whatever you want them to be and have your living space
Mm-hmm.
be, 4 walls, but almost everything in it is bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's an overhyped term at this point. Like what you're
Yeah.
explaining to me is
I think the expectation right now from, and I didn't even want to say consumers because some
Mhm.
people post some pretty stupid shit. I mean,
it's like, dog, I just want to play games.
been no shortage of bad articles this year in
Oh
the
my
news.
goodness, that's the whole reason I wrote the op-ed thing, because
If we could give an award though for the best,
I know
best
I already know.
article for anti
doggy styled in Horizon Worlds.
doggy styled at her, they asked me to bend over and I did, and they started drinking
vodka bottles and
They were
tossing
passing
around.
around vodka. I could smell the alcohol. It was running down my ass crack.
That has to be article of the year because
Dude, it was
I already knew what
fantastic.
article you're referring to.
Dude, anytime we want a good laugh, we just bring that up because
Mm.
I still to this date the best piece of
Chick who works for some company trying to
fiction
make a
that-
metaverse themselves
trying
too.
to make my own metaverse. So I went in there. I was molested.
That was slander. That was funny though.
They
Oh my
made
goodness.
me take my Guardian off. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I agree. It's a little overhyped. Like,
So yeah,
dog,
I picture the overall metaverse in the future of like our living life to
Mhm.
be more, and that's also going to be when wearing glasses is just commonplace. But
Yeah.
the world you create now won't be so ugly if it's ugly for you.
Yeah. Dog, I just want to play games. And if you give me a
Right.
social virtual world to hang out in, that's a bonus. I think how Meta sees the metaverse is like a virtual multiplayer. This is me speculating just off of like how they've talked, but like I imagine that they think of it as like a virtual multiplayer world with real life commerce integrated in. Like they seem very big on the ability to like buy art and real life clothes and shop
Mhm.
in a metaverse. That seems to be their big direction is like social
You don't
interaction
you
with
don't get-
shopping.
Amazingly,
I just want to play games, you know?
dude. Amazingly, you won't get shot shopping in a meta mall.
You say that.
But even if you did, what's going to
You
happen?
respond. Yeah.
Shoot back. Not like can't go a week without seeing someone getting fired up in a shopping center.
On the other side, I can't be fully dismissive of the potential of like multiplayer social virtual worlds. I do think that there's some potential there because like back to the Demio Heroes Hangout, we'll go into something as simple as painting figures and spend, plethora of time. A game that we're playing right now, Arcade Legend.
Yeah,
We're going to each other's arcade and shoot hoops on an arcade machine virtually.
yeah.
For 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we'll just dick around, walk around, doing nothing, but it's fun. So, like, clearly there is something there.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, maybe a little overhyped too. But that's a different
For
rant
its
too.
for its current
Yeah.
state, and
But
I
don't
think
think that that's so much Meta's fault. They talked about something that they want to have done in
Dude,
a
they were-
decade.
listen.
And
Their words
media-
were exactly, and that's what's scary about the media is
Mhm.
like legit. You can go hear what they said exactly,
It's something that we're aiming to strive for
and then read an
very far
article
away.
and go. Clearly, you actually didn't
Mhm.
like. What did they hear?
Well, that's
They
why
certainly didn't hear what was said.
I even wrote it. I was like, it's either they're incredibly bad at their job or they're intentionally doing it. 'Cause
Mhm.
those are the only two things. You could
I
either
think it's just for
clicks.
clicks and-
Yeah.
clicks
That's
and
100%.
ratings and-
100%.
Speaking of commerce,
But all right, so we got 3 categories left.
did you get that out of your system?
Yeah, I
Feel
got it.
better now. So yeah, no, I will say if people haven't read it, they should
It was
go to the website, check
Mhm.
it out, give it a read, because it was well written.
I definitely want to go more into like the journalism and writing actual like news pieces, like reporting. Just got to find the hours in the day. One day we'll be full time. It'll be easier.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, but that's how it snowballs, though.
Assholes with cameras on us all the time, showing up to people's houses. Hey, got a question for you.
All right, so 3 more categories.
Yes, sir.
These next 3 are pretty big ones too, if I must say. So, App Lab Game of the Year. These are all games on App Lab today. Came out this year that all deserve to be on the official store. We have Swordsman VR. Ooh, I love that one. And that's an example of a game that was popular on PlayStation VR, still top selling on PlayStation VR, and got the App Lab treatment. That's crazy.
Not sure what's going on.
That's great. They so deserve to be on the official store. Yeah. But so we have Swordsman VR.
Although they do have a great following.
Unbelievably dedicated. One of the most popular App Lab games, too.
The score is jacked, I believe. So
I think if they went to the official store, we would see that top rated.
Top rated, absolutely.
So fast.
Most of the games we review get the top rated.
I'd say you could actually probably say top rated or top selling would be on the label of all these games that we're going to list off on this category. So we have Swordsman VR, another one that I loved, Dragon Fist VR.
Yeah.
The developer, Ben Olding, that's an example of a developer who's coming from another, background. He was a Flash game developer.
Yeah, damn good one.
And now he came over to VR, and he's a damn good solo dev. I can't believe that that's made by one guy.
No, dude, that really blew my mind. I figured at least 3 people, has to be.
And I will die on the hill of that. It's beautiful jank in that game. It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking that...
If people could hear the word beautiful jank and the majority respect it as like, oh, well, that's something I need in my life.
He didn't seem offended by it.
No, he totally agreed with it because he understands what you're saying.
It's not a bad thing. It's beautiful.
Where some people, the word jank has become very popular this year too.
But he had, I've noticed, and he has.
Unless I'm eating a Metafoot.
He has quite a big ambitions with the game. When we talked to him, he wanted to add multiplayer. I see him post on his Discord. He wants to add more characters.
Dude, and he's got. Next time we talk to him, we're gonna pick out like 20 characters.
Ask him some details about each one.
Each one, because he's got a friggin' personal bio and attachment to each single.
An inspiration for each one. Well, he'll be like, oh no, well that guy's inspired from a character in these movies, and
mind-boggling.
Yeah, so great game there.
One dude.
Ready for this next one?
Yep, lay it on.
This is another one dude one. Bocce Time. That's another nominee for App Lab Game of the Year. Ooh.
I don't care if it sounds biased or not, but
I don't know how
he should have already been
store.
On the freaking store, and I'm gonna get mad political if he's not on that store in a couple months.
Well, I won't get political unless I see that he's not on the official store, and I see 4VR Bocce on the store. Then I'm ranting. I'm tweaked because his game is so freaking good. He's added so many updates. He has avatars, new courses in there.
Yeah, even kept the potato head.
Yeah, Mr. Potato Man.
And you can play against him personally.
And he'll talk smack to you.
Yeah,
with Body McBotface.
Body McBotface.
And we had some fun Among Us rounds with him.
So I've never actually asked like if he's qualified for the frame rates and all that.
Yeah, but everything feels good.
We haven't ever had any issues with it. So that's one that if I feel that like truthfully he's being held out because 4VR has got the lock on, which they seemingly are going after all outdoor recreational sports and indoor recreational
That's
sports.
why I'm worried, but he deserves it so much.
It's not like they don't have any pull. So
so follow him on Twitter too if you're a Twitter user. He's you can find Bocce Time.
Dude, I never played bocce in my life until I played Bocce Time, and it's still we'll be playing. Sometimes you'll be playing something. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just running into bocce for a little bit. It's like, why not? You can play a game in a matter of minutes.
That's my go-to. Yep, waiting for a game to update, whatever.
And I still play the most traditional lane there is.
But yeah, go find him on Twitter at Deep
I'm
Dive
not allowed
Interactive.
to vote on this one.
Yeah, Deep Dive Interactive is his name. Deep Dive Interactive. Good
Bocce
people.
Time.
Those
price,
three are good ones.
Cool.
So far, we've got Swordsman VR, Dragon Fist VR, Bocce Time, and then we have this last nominee for App Lab Game of the Year, Atlas Mystery.
Yeah. Holy Moses.
That one has bothered us that it's not on the official store, just like all the above ones did too. I hope, again, exactly what we said earlier, every single one of the games nominated in this category should be on App Lab graduate category next year. There's no reason that these games should be spending another year on the App Lab store.
Yeah, I really wish more people knew about Atlas Mystery.
One of the best VR escape rooms there is,
And no secret, we're sucker for escape rooms, but ones that we can't finish in, an hour or two. Come on. And there were some puzzles in that one that had us stumped. So for sure.
Ooh. If anybody loves escape rooms and puzzle games and you haven't checked out Atlas Mystery, you're gonna have a blast with it. Great storyline and great soundtrack too.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
I think the review on it we gave was really good.
And we had a really good interview with them as well.
Yeah.
So 2 more categories. All right, let's take this next one. You ready?
Yes, sir. Got to do the old man glasses thing each time.
Sorry, this will be the last one you got to do it for.
All right, what am I doing here? Point me in the right direction. We should have numbered them or done them in order, huh?
Or I should have typed you up and printed you out your own one.
I like the
organic.
The organicness of this is a lot better than
it's rustic. If it was food and it looked like that, we'd call it rustic. Here's the reality: that I don't have a printer.
It's rustic.
I don't have my printer set up yet. I know that's such a lousy excuse, but
I used my feather pen and my ink quill.
And honestly, I do think that might be easier than you trying to read it off of a phone. If I sent it to you digitally,
since we were hoarders with our podcast notes and materials, this will get saved.
Yeah, so. It's a part of history, and look how crumbled it is, and it's been brought around.
Back on our old shit.
Yeah, I folded that. I had it in my coat pocket. Come on.
All right, so it's probably no greater 2 people that need Ritalin or something in their life than you and I, huh?
that don't take any. Exactly.
No,
just sitting there with a cup of coffee in our hand.
Yeah, woke up in coffee. All right, so we got Game Studio of the Year, Resolution Games, Shell Games, Mighty Coconut, Fast Travel, and Vertigo Games. I do not envy our conversations.
No, not at all.
In the least freaking bit.
Honestly,
some of these I think are going to be easy to have a consensus of. The others are going to be like
this top 3 right here.
Yeah,
is a problem.
It's a little scary.
Because we did it in like rows. So these last 3.
Why have like one prize fight when you can have 10? Right.
I need to look up as soon as we're done today. I'm going to go back and see how many categories we had for last year. I feel like it was only about 7 or 8. We've really expanded. And again, next year I think it's just going to be more, but it's a lot of fun though.
There'll be at least 100 next year.
Yeah, but all of those game studios,
everybody's a winner.
Well, here's the thing. There's only one winner in each one of these categories. There's going to be plenty of people nominated who don't win, but I think every game that's been nominated for anything in this, it's so deserving.
Dude, we were nominated for something and we didn't win it, but I still feel awesome we were nominated. So I get it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I wouldn't be upset about being nominated.
So, last category for all the marbles, the big boy.
Oh boy.
The official store VR game of the year. We have Red Matter 2. Ooh, that's such a good one to start it off.
Yeah.
Green Hell VR. The Last Clockwinder. Did it again?
No.
Okay. I was worried and going into it. I was like, I said it wrong last time. Winder. The Last Clockwinder. Iron Man VR. Into the Radius. And Bone Lab. Ooh, this is a tough category.
Pretty stacked division.
That one's stacked. That might be one of our biggest categories in terms of like amount of games listed in it. And they're all bangers. They're all so good. Fuck. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean,
in some cases I want like there's a couple I wish a handful could all win, but
I know, right?
It doesn't work that way.
That's why I was saying before, every game that's nominated is phenomenal in this. Not only in this category, in every category of this. There can only be one in each, but
it felt easier last year.
It was. I feel like last year I knew my winners of each category, when we were creating the categories.
It was easier to post argument but we'll see.
And I will say, if you have any thoughts and opinions on who you think should win, go throw that in our Discord
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
episode discussion section. I'd love to hear
Absolutely.
people's thoughts as well. Not that I'm not saying that your thoughts will, change mine or anything, but it's always
No,
good to
but
hear.
I've had discussions you and I
Mhm.
have where it's
We-
not necessarily changed the total thought, but it's given a different way of looking at it and been like, huh, didn't expect that.
No, I agree 100%. So that's it for our actual nominees. I had one piece of news to talk about. I guess we can do that to wrap it up. I think you had something as well.
No, we covered it.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, it was your...
No,
Your-
it was your article.
Oh, okay. No, dude, man, I'll pat myself on the back with that one. Between Shoes, which was a great article, Shoes' piece, and then my piece after, I think that was a great one too. So in the world of Meta, soaking up companies, they bought a 3D lens company. I'm going to pronounce this incorrect. I think it's called Lux Excel. It's LUXEXCEL. They're most known for having 3D printed prescription lenses. Whether or not this is going to be an accusation that goes towards Meta's, how they had those Ray-Ban glasses and they're working on AR glasses, or if this is going to go towards VR devices. Either way, I think that's a game changer because, like, the thing that keeps me away from Ray-Bans, I wear prescription glasses. I'm not going to buy Ray-Bans and not be able
Ray-Bans
to
are
see.
expensive enough when they don't have prescriptions.
Yeah. Well, the Facebook, they're kind of like recording ones, but just in general, like I won't get AR glasses because I would have to wear my glasses under them. Or contacts with them. That's silly, Like I want them to be prescription, and if this enables them, even if it's an extra $100 on, it's totally worth it,
Probably did it just for their employees.
Mhm.
So many wear glasses. They're like, shit.
So I think that's
No, it's a unique acquisition.
Mhm. I'm not saying that this company will do 3D printed lenses for them either. That's just what they did before.
But it does kind of make you feel good about the long-term commitment that Meta has towards the future of VR. So I've got no hate for that at all. Like, come on, man. That's nothing but good news.
I'll say it right now, as somebody who has like a pretty strong prescription, eyesight, dude, the prescription lens inserts are a game changer. I can't imagine playing without them at this point. Like wearing my glasses while I'm playing, that was the worst.
People can watch the review of them on our YouTube channel.
And on our podcast as well.
Yeah.
We have those on both, but
If you want to see them,
Yeah,
they're definitely worth it. I have the non-prescriptions and they're worth it. They protect your lens.
yeah, we have VR Optician is the company that we have. They sent them to us.
Dude, that
And
company's crazy good.
So good. Again,
They've
if any,
been making this shit for over 100 years, I think, if I remember correctly.
I'm telling you right now, if any, nice little family-owned optician in, I believe, Germany.
Yeah.
If anybody has, like, you wear glasses while you play, it's so worth it
Dude,
to
the
get
amount
that
of
lens
people that have
inserts.
scratched their lenses
Mhm.
because of glasses,
Well, let's be real. The current glasses I have, these thick rims,
yeah, even with the extender, yeah.
no, that extender doesn't do crap for me.
No, I don't have it on mine.
I used to have, when I would wear glasses while I played, I had thinner framed ones. So it would bend my glasses, me
You
putting
like
on the headset.
sport ones,
But I would. There was one time I saw my lens touching the lens, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that.
And even for you who doesn't have the prescription ones, you have the Plano lenses, which it, doesn't interfere with your field of view at all.
No,
And
it hurt nothing.
if anything, it kind of keeps things nice and clear, and so much peace of mind knowing that your lenses aren't going to take damage directly.
Yeah, you're not going to see me posting going, what did I do to my lens?
Yeah, it
And there's a
scratched
big
my lens,
scratch on it, or the shit's all worn off because you used alcohol on
You'd
it.
be out $40 inserts. Woo! And now, like, prescription ones are more, especially if you have a really strong prescription. Mine was like upwards of $100, but that's $100 for like such an enhanced experience.
It's $100 for a $400 peace of mind.
So if you could buy a headset direct from Meta and they could
With
go,
your prescription.
yeah, $100 extra,
Yeah.
and we'll custom insert your lens.
Especially if you have right, left, different prescription strength.
Mm-hmm.
No,
That's
I
how
think
mine is.
It's an interesting acquisition.
Yeah. So exciting stuff there.
Cool.
And then next week we'll talk about our winners. If we have to delay it a week, it's because we couldn't come to a agreement
be
on
a
everything.
mutual agreement.
But the goal is for next week you'll be hearing the winners of all. Yeah, it'll be good. And I actually like that. Our award show is technically after the end of the year because there's always a couple good
There's
games.
sneak-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, I'll see award shows at the start of December or the end of November, and I'm like, no, all those December releases, you know?
Yeah.
Like Arcade Legend, it's not on our list, but it had potential. Like, that's a great game, and we will review that as well. So, other than that, I guess stay tuned for Wednesday's review episode. Stay tuned for next week's, award show, and subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Woo!